Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some breaking news coming out from the U.S. to share with all of you in regards to the Middle East tensions right now. We know that Israel and Hezbollah are definitely at war with each other at the moment. We have major Israeli airstrikes going on inside of southern Lebanon, targeting dozens, if not hundreds, of Hezbollah positions, destroying their launch sites. Many of their weapons caches, even some that are stored in civilian homes. We've been reporting that all morning. And we also have Hezbollah launching rockets and drones into Israel over the last several days now, but it's definitely starting to pick up over the last maybe 12 to 24 hours. And we've been talking about that also. So this report that we're going to go over today is that the U.S. has announced more troop deployments to the Middle East as tensions rise. Okay, so this is very, very big news. And this tells us that something big is coming here in the Middle East at some point soon. I wouldn't be surprised, going to be in the next week or two, that we have a major event going down. Is this going to be the U.S. just trying to back up Israel as they push into Lebanon? What's going to happen here? Because we know there's many other groups that could get involved in the Middle East and join in this fight against Israel and start to back Hezbollah. We could even have a major attack come from Iran and also the Houthi rebels in Yemen. So who knows what's going to happen over here, but I'm telling you, lots of U.S. assets are heading over to the Middle East again right now. And we also have a report of a carrier strike group that is also on its way over to Israel right now in the Middle East. So we're going to be talking about some of these details today. I'm also going to be going over a report that talks about these troop deployments going to the Middle East. So let's start out here on X. Got this report from Ocean Defender. Carrier Strike Group 8, led by the USS Harry S. Truman CVN-75 and consisting of the Ticonderoga class guided missile cruiser, USS Gettysburg CG-64, and a pair of Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers, USS Stout DDG-55 and USS Jason Dunham DDG-109, quietly departed earlier today from Naval Station Norfolk in Virginia for deployment to the Mediterranean, with a strike group likely to head directly to the Middle East amid escalating tensions between Israel and Hezbollah. Okay, so again, this is very, very big news, guys. More U.S. military assets heading over to the Middle East right now. I think we're going to see a major war erupt. Could this be just to potentially defend Israel if they come under attack by Iran? I think that could also be the case. And maybe this is just to back Israel as they launch their invasion into Lebanon, which could be coming in the next few days or weeks. But definitely we know that airstrikes are picking up heavily inside of Lebanon right now. Many citizens are fleeing the southern side of Lebanon, heading up north to the central areas and also Beirut, the capital. So again, this war is getting very out of control over here. And the fact that we're seeing more U.S. military assets head over there is a dangerous sign that escalation is going to continue and potentially get much worse than what we are seeing right now. Okay, and I also heard some reports that apparently Israel had destroyed up to 50% of Hezbollah's capabilities already. Now, I don't know for sure if that is the case, but some people were reporting that on X, that the IDF apparently had come out and claimed that they destroyed something like 50%. So definitely some major damage appears to be done to Hezbollah. I have seen a lot of video footage showing that of heavy airstrikes happening all over their country. So Israel is not messing around anymore. They're ready to go to war if this thing's going to kick off. And it looks like the U.S. is ready to head over here and back them. So let me go over some of this information now on ABC News. It says U.S. sends more troops to the Middle East as violence rises between Israel and Hezbollah. We're going to go over this report today. It says violence between Israel and Hezbollah is raising risk of a greater regional war. This came out today, September 23rd, 2024. It says right here, the U.S. is sending additional troops to the Middle East in response to a sharp spike in violence between Israel and Hezbollah forces in Lebanon that has raised the risk of a greater regional war, the Pentagon said Monday. Pentagon Press Secretary Major General Patrick Ryder would provide no details on how many additional forces or what they would be tasked to do. The U.S. currently has about 40,000 troops in the region, okay? So 40,000 U.S. troops over there right now in the Middle East. They are not providing any details on how many additional forces are being sent over there, so it could be potentially tens of thousands. Who knows how many more are being deployed? I would not be surprised if it was tens of thousands more. And it says on Monday, the aircraft carrier USS Truman, 2 destroyers, and a cruiser set sail from Norfolk, Virginia, headed to the Mediterranean on a regularly scheduled deployment, opening the possibility that the U.S. could keep both the Truman and the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, which is in the Gulf of Oman, nearby in case further violence breaks out. In light of increased tension in the Middle East and out of abundance of caution, we are sending a small number of additional U.S. military personnel forward to augment our forces and that are already in the region. But for operational security reasons, I'm not going to comment on or provide specifics. The new deployments come after significant strikes by Israeli forces against targets inside Lebanon that have killed hundreds, and Israel is preparing to conduct further operations. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday warned Lebanese civilians in a videotaped message to evacuate their homes ahead of a widening air campaign. He spoke as Israeli warplanes continued to strike alleged Hezbollah targets in southern and eastern Lebanon. I will show you guys that videotape in a later video. We'll try to do it today if we can. The State Department is warning Americans to leave Lebanon as the risk of a regional war increases. Due to the unpredictable nature of the ongoing conflict between Hezbollah and Israel and recent explosions throughout Lebanon, including Beirut, the U.S. Embassy urges U.S. citizens to depart Lebanon while commercial options still remain available. The State Department cautioned Saturday Ryder would not say if those additional forces might support the evacuation of those citizens if needed. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin held back-to-back calls with Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant over the weekend as he pressed for a ceasefire and a reduction of tensions in the region, Ryder said. Given the tensions, given the escalation, as I highlighted, there is a potential for a wider regional conflict. Whoa, guys, look at that. Potential for a wider regional conflict. I don't think we're there yet, but it's a dangerous situation. That's insane, guys. They're admitting that this thing could turn into a regional war in the Middle East, and I think that's pretty obvious to most of us. But that's huge that the U.S. is coming out and acknowledging that. The U.S. presence in the Middle East is designed both to help defend Israel and protect U.S. and allied personnel and assets. Navy warships are scattered across the region, from the eastern Mediterranean Sea to the Gulf of Oman, and both Air Force and Navy fighter jets are strategically based at several locations to be better prepared to respond to any attacks. Okay, so obviously, could the U.S. be targeted throughout the Middle East? Yes, I did hear some reports. I think it was yesterday, the day before. There may have been another U.S. base that came under attack inside of Syria. There was only like 2 small mainstream news that was reporting that, organizations that were reporting it. There wasn't any like major mainstream news that was reporting that, which I thought was interesting. But, you know, obviously the U.S. could be at risk here, considering that they are backing and protecting Israel right now if they come under attack, let's say from Iran or maybe the Houthi rebels, who knows. But who knows why all these U.S. troops are going to be over here. They could be there for a number of reasons. And especially we know there's dozens of, naval assets as well. Okay, there's multiple aircraft carriers over here, guided missile destroyers. I think we have at least 1 nuclear sub that has been deployed over to the Middle East as well. So I don't know if this is a setup to draw Iran into the conflict so that way the U.S. can go after Iran and maybe try to denuclearize them. That could be the plan. I have no idea what is going to happen, but definitely it looks like something big is about to go down over here, as also there's tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of other troops in the Middle East on Hezbollah's side, other Iranian-backed groups that may join in. We've already talked about that several times in the past. So this thing's definitely getting out of control over here, guys, and this is definitely more signs here that we're about to see major escalation, considering that the U.S. is sending more troops and also looks to be another carrier strike group over to the Middle East. So let me know what you think of this down below. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless, and we'll see you in the next one.